Hello everyone. Hello teacher. My name is Carlos Xavier Quilizapa.
Okay, thank you, Carlos, for that. My name is Gerardo Sayas, and today, like you said, we are going to present our lesson plan for this activity.
So in this video, we're going to explain our lesson plan with the topic quantifiers. The grammar focus is some, many, any, much, and a lot of. The estimated time is 50 minutes. And the objective is by the end of the class will be or the students will be able to correctly use of these five quantifiers: some, any, much, many, and a lot of, to describe quantities of real or picture objects in both spoken and written form. Okay, the first step in this lesson plan is the key contents. For example, the first uh, point, very important, is language functions. What are students expect to do? Describing, for example, quantities, asking about amounts. The structures. What are the structures we use in this lesson plan? For example, use how to use there is, there are, how many for countable nouns, how much for non-countable nouns, a lot of, a few for countable nouns, and a little for non-countable nouns, and some. But in the key vocabulary, we divide this with countable nouns and non-countable nouns. For example, with common things like the food. In the countable nouns, we use apples, bananas, cookies, eggs, and another things. But in non-countable nouns, we use water, air, milk, and juice. Okay, continue with the next point. The next point is warm up with 5 minutes. What is the materials in that case? It's a magic box like this. It is a show box decorate used in the warm up activity to introduce quantifiers visually. Okay, what is the step by step in that case? For example, inside the box we have uh, a match with a few cookies. So I will show this image to the class and the students will to repeat. Oh, look, there is a few cookies, and the students will to repeat. With the next case, we have another image, but with a lot of cookies. And the students will to repeat, oh, look, inside the box, there are a lot of cookies. And we have some water too. Look, there is a little water. And the students will to repeat, look, there is a little water. It's very important to the class. The teacher use exaggerate gestures to reinforce meaning. Why? Because the students actually doesn't have the meaning of the all the words. So it's very important the exaggerate gestures. Okay. So the next step is the presentation with 10 minutes. In that case, the material is a video by YouTube with the name Countable and Countable Nouns by Interesting English. We use two flashcards, countable nouns and uncountable nouns, like the example in the vocabulary. But what is the step by step in the presentation? For example, in that case, the teacher will play the video countable and uncountable nouns, and during the video, the teacher will pause to ask to the class. For example, in the video appears one apple. The teacher asks to the class, "This is countable or uncountable?" And the class will answer this question. It's very important use gestures. Have students repeat keywords. For example, apple countable, milk non-countable. And after the video, the teacher will, for example, show the flashcards and ask how many people is in the flashcards, or how much milk is in the flashcard. And the students will answer the question. It practice with choral uh, repetition for all the class. So we continue with the next point. The next point is activity one. The skill is listening. Okay, in 5 minutes. In that case, we use 25 cards with well-written sentence for the practice. How will the students practice with this? In that case, the teacher will distribute one pre-written sentence for all the class to each student. Each card contains a space, so the students will written a sentence using quantifiers. For example, there is a little juice, there are a few bananas, there is a few rice, or I have two markers, and another examples. Each student will say their sentence or all the class. Okay, so what is the dynamic in that case? If the sentence is correct, they stand up and repeat the sentence. So it's very important the teacher will immediately confirm the correct answer and provide the feedback. But if the sentence is incorrect, they remain seated and stay silent. Okay. Uh, this is my information. This is my part. So thank you for your attention. But the next part is is going to explain by my partner Gerardo, and he's going to explain the practice activity 2 and production war up assessment. Okay.
Thank you for explaining the other points about the lesson plan. In this case, I'm going to continue explaining the second activity. For the second activity, we need to make the section about in 10 minutes with mini whiteboards or notebooks or even a projector or a board. In this case, for the steps to follow this lesson plan, we need to show different nouns on the board, like for example, pens, sand, chairs, oil, car, shoes, t-shirts. A student decides if the noun is countable or uncountable, and the teacher only need to guide them only if it's needed. Also, the teacher can model examples like I have some apples, we don't have any milk, or how many cars are there? A student receives a flashcard and must create one correct sentence for cars using a quantifier. For example, if one student have a flashcard for a couple of buckets, he can make a example that says that I have a couple of buckets with water, like that. And also, a student write their sentence on their notebook and show them to the teacher for quick feedback. In this case, that we can see that a student can struggles with this problem for because they're learning the topic. We can help the students with sentence like, for example, there are, is there, or we have. Okay. We need to continue with the production. On the production, we also need another 10 minutes for the lesson plan. And this is like an activity that you can use the backpack that the students have, and also you can use a timer just to make sure that you complete the time for the lesson plan. Students are placed in groups of four. Each group use one backpack from them. A student must describe the items using quantifiers. For example, there are many bugs, there isn't much water, or we have a lot of colors. Each student must speak at least one full term, like 5 or 7 sentences, and the teacher monitors but doesn't correct unless communications break down. Also, uh, if the student are struggling with the production or trying to make the sentence, we can, or even if the students are shy, we can make like check the quantity for the stuff that the student have on the backpack, on like how many bucks, how many colors, how many pens, and something like that. For the wrap up, we only need to use 5 minutes for the rate plan. Like a quick fire round, teacher says a noun, student shot the correct quantifier. Like for example, uh, water, much, cookies, many, colors, a lot of. Students share one new thing that they learn. For example, for the how many, for the a lot of, any, or much. Teacher briefly preview next class, countable versus uncountable review or quantifier in question. Also, on the lesson plan, we need to provide students the assessment. For this case, we can provide an assessment for two parts. The first part is for fill the blanks, like for example, there aren't blank apples. Do we have blank milk? And also, some you can make so much more fill the blanks with the example for the lesson plan for the quantifiers. For the part two, the students need to write four original sentence, like for example, uh, I have two jackets on my closet, or I have one car in my house, and something like this is just to verify that the students uh, understand the information about the topic. The evaluation for the assessment can be, for example, use a quantifier 50%, grammar accuracy 30%, and also complement full sentence 20%. That depends on the teacher how can he can how he want to evaluate the assessment. Okay, thank you, teacher and classmates for watch this video, and I hope all of you have a great day.